right, welcome to You Gotta See This Movie, another podcast with two guys who like to talk about movies as well as the deeper things that make these stories more than just a movie. If this is the sort of thing that you're into, please like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. I'm Michael.
And I'm Mad Jim.
And he's Mad Jim. Are you mad because you had to watch this movie?
No, I was doing the Mad Max thing.
Oh.
Mad Max.
I know.
You can be Mad Michael. That works better, actually.
Yeah, Mad Mike.
Yeah, Mad Mike.
As they call me on the weekends.
Nice.
But,
All
right, man, we are officially in May, which is blockbuster movie season. Is there any movie coming out this summer that you're looking forward to?
There's the new Planet of the Apes movie, right?
Yeah, you look forward to that?
I'm looking forward to it. Another ape movie. Yeah.
You can't have enough ape movies.
I think the last one I saw was the Tim Burton one. Just for whatever reason, I wanted to see the Tim Burton, and I was just like, it's kind of weird.
So I love those old ape movies. There's 5 of them, and I was so excited when that Tim Burton movie came out, and it wasn't bad. I like the makeup. The makeup was really good in those movies.
Yeah, it was silly. It was just like they had silly stuff. Like I don't know. Like they had like pop culture references and stuff in it, which kind of just made it silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had those new ones that came out in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and those are kind of intense.
Those were good. CGI, which I kind of miss the makeup and the man in suit.
The plastic face looking on.
Yeah. And then now we have a new one coming out, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I'm looking forward to that as well. So
they starting over at the very beginning?
Well, it's continuing off of the last 3 that came out.
Oh.
So now it's like 300 years into the future.
Oh, nice.
And the apes have been in charge for a while now. But yeah, today we are talking about what movie?
Mad Max Fury Road.
Mad Max Fury Road.
2015. Years after the collapse of civilization, the tyrannical Immortan Joe enslaves apocalypse survivors inside the desert fortress, the Citadel.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, to me, this is, before we get into the movie, it's an action movie, right?
Right.
And so, I think it's probably one of the better action movies that came out in the last 10 years.
Oh.
Probably the best action movie that I can think of off the top of my head in the last 10 years.
Because it's full of action.
It's so full of action.
Lots of action.
So that being said, Jim, I wanted to ask you, what do you think, according to Collider magazine or Collider.com, what do you think are the top 10 greatest action films of all time are? I'm sorry, top 5. I'll tell you the top 10s just so you know.
If you tell me the top 10, then you're going to give me
I'm going to give you 10 through 6.
Right.
And you have to guess 5
okay.
through.
Okay.
All right, so coming at number 10 is The Matrix.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah.
Number 9, I probably would put this a little lower on the list, but it is Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Number 8, your favorite, Kill Bill, Volume 1. And number 7, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And number 6 would be First Blood, the first Rambo, which is an excellent film.
Okay.
All right.
Well, a couple of my choices have already been listed. Last Action Hero. It has action in the title.
Yes, action in the title. Did not make top 5, no.
Action Jackson? That was a movie, right? Wasn't it?
That was. It starred Carl Weathers.
All right.
Yeah.
Action Jackson. Got to be like Die Hard, right?
Die Hard is number 2.
All right, I got 1.
You got yeah. I don't know if you're gonna get number 1 or number.
It's got to be like a Mission Impossible one, right?
No, not top 5. No.
Then it's got to be like a Jackie Chan movie of some kind, right?
I think along those lines, not necessarily Jackie Chan. No, I don't think you're gonna get.
I'm not gonna get it. Just tell me.
Okay, number 5 is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Ooh,
number 5.
All right.
Which, yeah, I mean, it had its action, but I would have thought that was more of a drama. But whatever. Number 4, you should be able to get. Number 3, you should be able to get.
Mad Max.
Yes, Fury Road is number 3. And then, number 1, you're not going to get.
All right, what is it?
Number 1 1954's Seven Samurai.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the one you're gonna like. Oh yeah, number
So
4.
I don't think I've never seen that. I was one I would like to see, and I keep
Seven
telling
Samurai?
yeah, and I keep telling myself I'm going to watch it, but then I never do.
Well, have you ever seen Magnificent Seven?
Yeah, that's a great.
Have you ever
movie.
seen A Bug's Life?
Yeah,
Same thing.
but I don't consider those action movies though. Was
Same
there
story.
was there more action in the samurai one?
You know, I saw when I took a film class way back in college, and that's when I saw it. And I remember liking it. I just haven't gotten around to watching it again. But it is a classic. Anyways, number 4 was 1986 Aliens.
Oh yeah, that's good action.
That's a great action.
That's a lot of action.
All right, so yeah, let us talk about that number 3 on that list, Mad Max Fury Road.
Fury Road.
So, real quick, did you watch the originals, the ones with Mel Gibson?
I'm familiar with the Road Warrior, which was the
second one.
Well, they call it Mad Max 2, but I don't.
Yes.
I've never seen Mad Max 1.
Okay, I actually like Mad Max. Just Mad Max. It's
His character or the second movie?
the first movie.
Oh,
Mad
the first
Max
one.
is no, sorry.
The Road Warrior.
Mad Max is the first one.
Right.
So that was released in Australia. It was never released in America until after.
Right.
But then Mad Max 2 got a bigger budget. It's going to get an American release. And they didn't want to call it Mad Max 2 because they're like, well, no one in America has seen Mad Max 1. And, there's no streaming. There's no, you can't just get these movies. So they decided to change the name and call it The Road Warrior. So it's kind of became its own thing. Yeah, no, Mad Max, the first one, I like it. The cars are really cool. It's more
of a B movie though. It's kind of it's
probably
a little
B.
It's a little on the cheesy side.
But it's more I guess you should say it's right at the beginning when the world was like dying.
Yeah.
So there's still more like civilization. Like Max he's a cop.
Right.
And he's still doing the best he can to fight these gangs off. And then come, Road Warrior, he's no longer a cop anymore. He's just kind of on his own. And then did you ever see Beyond Thunderdome?
I know I have, but
that's my least favorite.
I don't remember much about it.
It wasn't that great.
No.
Got a killer soundtrack though. But
Tina Turner.
Got Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these were great. These were always fun movies. And I remember like growing up and watching that second one a lot more than I did the other two.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm really familiar with is The Road Warrior.
Yeah.
And that's a fun one.
Yeah. I will yeah, they're good. So George Miller, who made these movies, comes back years later, wants to make another one. Not done with the character.
Yeah.
And so he comes and makes Mad Max Fury Road. This time we got Tom Hardy instead of Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson said he was just too old to do anything with the character anymore. And so now we got a younger Tom Hardy.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't want to be in it. Although he probably wouldn't want to be. He would have to be like a main character and then people would recognize him. And be like,
So going into this movie, first off, I'll start off and I guess, I'll ask you, but like, what's your first thoughts on the movie? I love this movie. Like, it was like, to me, it was like everything you go to the theaters to get popcorn, sit down and just kind of watch it and be brain dead, for like 2 hours and just entertained. I mean, the first 25 minutes is full on action driving sequences. Like the first time I looked, the movie kind of lets up and it slows down just a second. I looked at my watch. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only 25 minutes. I feel like so much has happened already. But yeah, what do you think?
My thoughts on this movie. It's weird because I felt like the Road Warrior scene, even though it was sort of out there and kind of over the top, it felt more real worldly. And this movie felt more like a fantasy film, almost as if you were like on another planet or something.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It was so incredibly stylized, and the characters and the people, you didn't really believe that they were like, I don't know, that they were like, this world. I don't know. It just seemed like, like they were like desert dwellers and in the way that, in the whole environment and the citadel and everything. It felt like a real artsy movie. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was really cool looking, but it didn't feel like the apocalypse must have happened in the 80s, right? And it had to, because all the cars were like 1940s through 1970s, muscle hot rods and muscle cars. And I guess that must have been when everything went south, right?
Yeah.
Because at that point there were no 80s cars. I didn't see any DeLoreans in there or anything, right?
Right.
But with that said, it does feel like it was kind of more of like an art, sort of an artistic endeavor in the way that it's styled and the way that it looked and the characters were and everything, which makes it kind of a fun watch.
Yeah. So I guess I had a hard, like, one of the things I didn't really care for this movie, like, probably it's like only Mark, one of it, but is I didn't understand, where did Mel Gibson's Mad Max, like, is this the continuation of that story? And I guess it mostly is. But I've also heard things that were like, no, it's like a whole new Mad Max, and that you didn't need to go into the backstory of who the character is anymore. And like, you kind of see it, he lost his kids, or daughter, that was in the Mad Max lore.
Yeah, it didn't feel,
but
to me, it didn't feel like a Mad Max movie in the sense that it was like a continuing story, because it did.
Yeah, in the sense of the continuing story, it was not.
Yeah, because it was almost like a caricature. I mean, the way
Right.
everything was stylized. I mean, there was a point towards the end of it where I felt like I was kind of watching an animated movie. I mean,
which is weird.
Just the way it was played out.
90% of this film is practical effects.
Right.
Like, it was very little CGI. The only thing they said they did it on was, on the shots where they had, all those people, obviously duplicated people.
Yeah.
They, Furiosa's arm, and then just like some of the backgrounds of things. But for the most part, everything was real. That you're seeing.
Yeah. Which is fun, and I like that. I like, the cars are crazy, and the props and everything was super fun, just to, kind of identify what car is what and bits and pieces they put together, and just the creativity. I mean, that the Joe's Cadillac, which is basically two 59s stacked one on top of the other. I mean, it's super cool.
Yeah.
So, they had a lot of fun making it, for sure.
I was going to ask you, you being a prop guy, like, would this have been a fun movie to like be a part of?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like kit bashing on a full size kit bashing and making some crazy vehicles and stuff. Yeah.
And I guess those vehicles were real, like that, like Joe's, his car was a real thing that he drove in the movie, but he said it was super loud and you could hear that thing coming miles away.
Oh yeah.
But I guess I can see what you're saying. Like, for me, like, once I was able to separate this movie from the other three, I was able to enjoy it more for what it is, because I don't know, you can't connect it, and I don't think you're supposed to connect to the other ones, but see, this is another reason why I like the movie so much, is that I think it does a really good job on showing, not telling. In the story, like, look, we're going to show you this world. We're going to show you, we're not going to sit there and explain everything to you. You'll get it as time goes on. And, I'm going to test it right now to see if my wife watches this podcast, because I'm going to tell you something. When I'm watching movies with my wife, it's always like, when something happens, she wants that question answered right now. And I'm like, just let the story tell you. The story will eventually, it will answer your questions. And it frustrates me. Yeah. But especially when it's weird and it's like we're both watching a new movie together at the same time, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I've never seen this movie. But anyways, I think it does a good job on that. Like, it's not like you get a good sense on who Max is. He's a wanderer in the wasteland, just trying to survive. In the very beginning, he's being hunted down by people, and then you get just even explaining who Joe is. You don't need to know much about him. I mean, his look is evil. It's disgusting and evil. Yeah. He is living in this, monstrosity of the citadel, and all those people needing water, and then just in a line that he says, you get a sense how evil he is by him when he's giving them water, shuts it off, and he says,
don't get addicted to
don't
water.
get addicted to water because you'll start to resent it.
Yeah.
And it's like, man,
yeah.
what do you mean don't get addicted to water? Yeah. But that's the power, right? The water's the power and of that world.
Yeah. Well, I guess the reason I like it, and going back to just the way how it looks, is that it's very stylized. Like I said, it doesn't feel like a Mad Max, apocalyptic movie, because it's like some of the stuff doesn't make sense. Like, why are these cars so incredibly cool? And they all have superchargers, and the characters are kind of overblown and stylized. I mean, I see it more as an artistic piece, and then that's what makes it interesting. To me, anyway,
it's definitely filmed differently.
Yeah. And I think there was just like artistic choices that were made that don't really make sense, but they kind of look cool. Like like the vehicles looked cool, and the whole citadel and the water mechanisms looked cool, and the characters were kind of interesting and cool. And even like if going to battle, and like traditional like old world troops would head out to battle. They would fife guy, right? Yeah, they would lead the battle with a drum corps. Yeah. Like, why are you leading the battle with music? So in this movie, they're leading the battle with music, but it's the guy with the flame throwing electric guitar.
Which was real. I was reading about that. That guy legit had his guitar.
Yeah.
Shot real flames that he controlled with the whammy bar.
Yeah. So
which blows me away.
So you think of Mad Max. You think of this world where it's just like people are sort of kludging things together with leftover remnants of society.
Yeah.
But no, not this one. It's like they found like cool things to do and cool pieces to put together, but that comes from the director and the art behind it, not behind any sort of. I don't know. That's what I mean. It's more of a fantasy movie to me than a.
So I guess when George Miller was putting this together, he didn't write the script first, but he storyboarded this. Because he pretty much says, like, I want this movie to be just a chase scene, a car chase scene. And he makes the biggest car chase scene ever done. And that one that he had in the first, or in the Road Warrior, was a really good one.
Yeah.
Like, super good. And then, I think he wanted to just outdo it.
Yeah.
And again, to me, you cannot beat practical effects. You cannot beat real cars crashing into each other, stuntmen doing those things. I mean, it puts them in danger, but
I don't think it's not fun to watch it if you know it's all fake.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he storyboarded the whole thing before he even wrote the script. He was more concerned just the look of things before the actual storyline of things. But I guess if I was to say another negative thing on why I like the old ones so much, was Max's car.
Yeah.
And you only see it in the beginning. I mean, you see it later on in the film.
But it gets trashed like first time out.
Yeah, and then you see it again, it's all chromed out, it's all, and the bad guys have it. But however, let's talk about the war rig. What'd you think of that? The thing that Furiosa drove.
I mean, it's cool.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like, just to think like you live in this world where like that's a war rig. Like people, like we see battleships right now, like in the harbor, and it's like, people can be like those other raiders that were like, oh, it's a war rig. Like that is an instrument of war going in.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
And it did. It took all those guys. They couldn't take it down. Like it was so, formidable.
And apparently the exhaust on that thing is not hot, because apparently you can just grab onto it while you're climbing on the outside.
I saw that. See, they did have there was something wrapped around it. But
the muffler wrap. I'm like,
I did notice that too.
Let me just hang on for dear life by grabbing the exhaust manifold.
Your head would fry.
Yeah.
I saw the same thing.
And I guess they're all master mechanics too, that they can basically maintain these machines
while on the road.
While on the road. Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes sense because they treated like this was also like a religion. Like you looking at the war boys that like, like their swords are the steering wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like their weapon
Yeah.
and important to them. Even Furiosa, when she comes in, she has her steering wheel. It's like that's her calling
Yeah.
card, like, which I thought was really cool.
So they must have had a machine shop or something there, right? In amongst the
Oh yeah.
in amongst
Well,
the
yeah.
Flintstone land, right?
Yeah, because remember when Max is running around, they see him taking apart his car. So there's a chop shop in there.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of a religion for them because you know, you need to know how to fix cars, and you're probably learning that at a young age.
Yeah.
But
Add those superchargers and headers and
yeah. I think they even do the V8, like they worship the V8. I think they were doing like hand signals. But
yeah. I don't know. I think for me the action stuff gets a little tedious, sometimes. I don't know. For me, like it was, if it's done right, like no, it was good. It was good, but I
can hang in there.
I did find myself getting up and refreshing my nacho plate without pausing it.
It's like, oh, I know they're just gonna drive and
I might miss a few little things, but it's not enough to pause it. Yeah.
What do you think of the War Boys?
They're kind of gross.
They were gross, huh?
Yeah.
So I had to look it up. Do you understand why like they wanted Max's blood?
No.
Yeah, so I didn't really understand that.
Is that why they're so white? They don't have a whole lot of blood in them?
No, that's all paint. Well,
they're all pasty.
So yeah, they even kind of hinted at like, oh, this War Boy is entering his half-life.
Yeah.
I guess they don't live long. They're all like diseased and got cancers, and they don't. Yeah, they're not.
They're not healthy.
They don't. Yeah, they're not healthy.
They need vitamins.
They need more than vitamins. But the white stuff is like it helps them, you know, like a pain thing. And then, but the blood, it was a way of like giving them nutrition. Like it was like, you know, like that Max's blood was clean blood.
Like an IV.
Kind of, and it prolongs their life a little bit longer.
Huh.
But that's why like he was all tired and weak. But then once he was getting that high octane blood, he was like, oh, I'm good. Like I'm, you know.
Yeah. Now what's with the chrome spray? That like it keeps you from dying, or it's like a
no.
It's kind of like I didn't quite understand what that was all about.
The chrome spray, and I got a cool, did you know about this?
It's like nitrous oxide. You're about to die, and then it gives you a boost.
So what I think it is one, it's in the whole he says the whole idea that when you go in Valhalla, when you die, you're gonna go in shiny and chrome. You're gonna look good, right? So in a sense, that's part of it.
So it's like a war paint.
Kind of. Well, not even a war paint, but it's also like they're sacrificing themselves.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're about to enter. They want to enter into Valhalla chrome.
Oh, so what is just paint?
At the same time, though, I do think that they do it. I think it's paint. They do it because also, when you got someone who's like, okay, I'm gonna go to Valhalla, it's obviously a chemical and it gets you high, so you're also huffing it in.
Oh, so
it keeps that suicidal tendency going. And I think it makes them follow through with whatever Joe wants them to follow through on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it is just paint?
I think it's just
they're just huffing paint.
They're just huffing paint.
So
yeah.
there was like a hardware store that had a lot of chrome paint in stock, and he grabbed it all up.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, Joe had a stock of chrome.
He said, I'm going to use this.
Some chrome Rust-Oleum cans and turned it into something magical.
Right.
Yeah.
He probably like, you need these.
What's going to be the color of your transition to the other world?
Well, we have a lot of chrome paint on hand. Why don't we just do this?
We've got buttercup yellow. No. We've got cherry red. No. How about chrome? Oh, chrome.
Chrome. That would work.
That'll work. Yeah.
All right. So I got a did you know?
Oh, wait, did you ever know anybody that huffed paint?
Yeah.
You do? Wow.
Yeah.
I knew somebody that huffed paint.
I never did, but I did know somebody because I just thought it was gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Do people still huff paint?
I think so. I mean, I don't know.
There's
my danger was I kind of was like the smell of gasoline.
Yeah.
I did not huff gasoline.
No, yeah,
but like there,
yeah.
it was never like, ooh, gas that smells bad. I was like,
Yeah.
that actually smells pretty good.
Yeah. Sorry, I just.
But anyways, so the effect that they used for the spray, the silver,
Yeah.
was actually for cakes. So it's edible.
Oh.
And they found the company. So it's a company you can find on Amazon. And I guess that there's a bunch of reviews that people posting as Warboys and Immortan Joe.
Oh.
Saying like, oh yes, we love this spray. It gets us to Valhalla. But it's meant for cakes.
Oh, so we actually could have gotten some of that stuff.
We
It's probably like an
could've,
off-the-shelf
yeah.
item. We could have done that for our intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would be like, oh God, they use paint.
Yeah.
No, it was, for cakes.
Wow.
I should look into that.
It's still got to be bad. It's probably like just barely passes the FDA, right?
FDA, yeah. It might not even be.
The
in
levels
America.
of
It might
toxic
be in-
metals in it are just below.
Just a little bit low.
Yeah. They probably rate it as single serving, and you probably got like a whole like. Yeah.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on Furiosa?
Cool. I like her arm thing. Got the Terminator arm thing.
Got the Terminator arm thing.
Yeah.
So, another thing about this movie is that one could actually say this isn't even a Mad Max movie. It's more of a Furiosa movie.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, like it really is like they do share the screen pretty well. You know, like in the movie, like they both have their objectives. They're both moving the story forward. You know, in fact, it's more Furiosa that gets the story going. Max is just along for the ride.
Yeah.
For the beginning of the movie, which that was crazy. Like, I can't imagine being strapped to the front of a car. Like, how helpless would you be? Like, you know,
He's a hood ornament.
He's a hood ornament.
Yeah.
You're just strapped, and these guys are crazy. They're huffing paint in the background,
Yeah.
and they're trying to like take down this car, and you're just, I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's more about imagery and stylistic, and it's just yeah.
But yeah,
Crazy.
from the beginning, Furiosa, and
Yeah.
again, you don't need to see Furiosa make that decision in the story. You don't need to see her setting up the plan. You see her going on a road, and all of a sudden you can tell, like, okay, there's something going on. She's thinking about something, and then she makes a turn.
Yeah.
And it's later on you find out, oh, okay, so she's smuggling these girls out.
Right.
Which you know, it's pretty much the whole storyline.
Yeah. I mean, the story's not hard to really follow. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
basic.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a very basic thing where you can watch it and follow it. You don't have to be told what you're watching.
Yeah.
I think there's so many
yeah.
movies today that they fall into that trap where they want to explain everything to you, and you just like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
I mean, like Waterworld, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you kind of already know what's going on, you know.
That's a world filled with water.
It's an apocalyptic situation, and Waterworld tells you what's going on. Yeah. Everything's built out of junk.
I like Waterworld.
No, it's fun.
Yeah. Good movie.
What do you like better, Waterworld or this movie? Ooh, and I actually thought about that. 'Cause,
Are you serious?
yeah. What do you like better, Waterworld or Waterworld? Kind of has sort of a retro thing going on. It's kind of old school, kind of.
I think I like this movie better, but I think I like the Waterworld a bit better. I don't know.
Yeah. Huh.
But as a movie goes, I think if I had the choice to watch, well, I'd watch Waterworld because I just got done watching this. But
Oh, okay.
if it was like, you know, a year from now, and they're like, Michael, pick a movie, I'd probably watch this.
You grab both DVDs.
Yeah.
You go, which one am I going to watch? You're going to be Waterworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay, this one or Mad Max 2.
This one.
Yeah, see, I want to watch Mad Max 2 now. It's been a long time.
I'm a bigger fan of part 1. I don't
Really?
know why. I don't know. Maybe it's because you get to know the character Max a bit more, and you see him differently. And I saw that movie so later on. Like all I saw of Max was, you know, growing up as a kid was that second one. I watched that movie over and over and over. And I feel like that was all that was ever on television. And then
Well, yeah, the first one's probably a better story. The second
Yeah.
one really was more of a chase, right? I mean, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and then you got the weird, the costumes of like those people.
Yeah.
Like that was weird.
Yeah.
Like it just that to me seems more like that's quintessential 80s movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas Max looked cool, but like I don't know, the first one still feels like it's real world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's crazy to think that, I feel like it's a term in the world where it's like, oh yeah, when the world gets bad, it's gonna be like Mad Max, and like everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Mad Max.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be cool. It's not gonna be fun. Like this would not want to be a world that I lived in.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. That like there are zombie movies that I'm like, oh, I could live in that world. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But this one, I would not want to live in this world.
No.
There's way too much going on. I wouldn't want to be a good guy or a bad guy in this movie because it's just horrible.
I just always want to I think about things going south and going Mad Max, and I always want to make sure at least I have a car that I could Mad Max.
Yeah, we
like a new
talked
car.
about that.
New
Yeah.
car you can't Mad Max.
No,
It's
that's
got to
not
be.
gonna last.
It's got to be something with a carburetor, basic, battery, ignition, no
Mhm.
computers. So then you're good to go.
No computers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Your
Yeah.
basic, yeah.
Your basic Mad Max Fury Road
And a supercharger.
and a supercharger. Yeah. You still have gas? Yeah.
Got some.
That was another thing that I had to read that because obviously it's like after time gas is gonna go bad, and if you're not making more gas,
yeah.
but like that was the whole point was they were going to exchange water for gas because where they were headed was Gas Town,
Oh yeah.
and then they had to they diverted. So there is a refinery. There are still people making gas. So that
okay.
makes sense.
That makes sense. All right. Yeah. That's right.
And then same thing with the guy that made the bullets. Like he has a manufacturing going on where he can make, bullets.
Right.
So if you have water, gas, and bullets,
And a machine shop.
and a machine shop, you got everything.
You're good to go.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
And then some paint to huff.
Chrome paint.
Things get bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was I mean, they really truly made the villains in this movie look bad.
Yeah.
Like just the look, the grotesqueness, the sickness, they had the guy, the people eater, the guy with the nose, they call him the people eater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the big old fat foot.
Yeah. The guy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
the diabetes.
diabetes.
Diabetes legs.
You clearly, the line was clearly like, okay, these are good guys, these are the bad guys.
Yeah.
And that line was like, even just how they, how he viewed babies and women as his property. It was like, nope, that guy's bad.
He's the bad guy.
These are good. So, yeah, no, I have a lot of fun with this film, and I was super glad that we got to watch it and talk about it. And I am excited for the next one that's coming out, or by the time this comes out, I think it's coming out this weekend. So, Furiosa, Mad Max. And I guess there's 2 more Mad Max movies that they're supposed to make with Tom Hardy. So
they're going to have to really change it up, though. Hopefully it's not just another
chase. Yeah.
Well, they all kind of are, right?
I want him to bring back the car. I want him to get his car back.
Yeah.
Because I really liked his car. And the dog. Remember he had a dog?
Oh, the dog. That was
he
super
cool. He did not have a dog in this one.
He had like a dingo dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog was cool.
I want to bring back the flyer guy.
Yeah. He had like that little auto gyro thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy was in the third one, Beyond Thunderdome, too. But I don't think he played the same character.
We need to talk about the second one because that's a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
But I like this one better.
Really?
I do.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
You like the guitar thing, the guy with
that was awesome.
I know everybody talks about that. Yeah.
That got a lot of hate because it's like, why would they have that? But you're right. You brought it up. It's like
that's the whole
people
reason.
went into battle with music. Yeah, it gets people hyped up. You're trying to send these war boys to do everything they can, including risk their lives.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna want to.
With the soundtrack.
That's the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the deeper theme.
All right.
In this movie. So this one surprisingly has a lot for a giant chase scene. I was kind of surprised watching it this time around, and I don't know. There's not necessarily one deeper theme, but what I really liked was kind of going back to the idea of like this movie does a great job drawing a line. You know who the good guys are. You know who the bad guys are. They really make the bad guys in look and with their deeds and everything to be evil. And then you got really who these two characters are. You got Mad Max. You got Max and Fury. I keep calling him Mad Max, but Furiosa and Max. And they've got their own past that they're playing. So from the very beginning, we see that Max is all about survival. He just wants to survive. He's not thriving. He's not doing anything. First off, the world is obviously chaos, right? So imagine a world where, probably early biblical times where God is completely like not gone, but like everyone's up to their own devices. They're doing their own thing. And you've got evil and you've got people like Max who's like, I'm just trying to survive in this world.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't choose this world. I didn't choose my life, but here I am. And he's eating lizards. So
Yeah.
so he's all about survival and doesn't necessarily care. Then you got Furiosa, who's obviously been working for Immortan Joe. They have some sort of relationship. She has a high ranking in his army.
Yeah.
She drives his war rig.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on this redemption path.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to save those girls because to him they're property, and take them to somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got redemption. Max is all about survival, and their paths meet. And for Max or Furiosa, she cannot, and then they need each other, right? Furiosa cannot complete her redemption path without the help of Max. Same thing with Max. Like he cannot survive without the help of Furiosa. So they have to have this comfortable middle where they're now working together. And over time, Max starts to see a little bit more than just survival. Like he wants to save them as well. But the bigger one, I thought, was the character Nux.
Hmm.
You know Nux?
Yeah.
He was the guy that had Max as his blood. What do you call it? Meat bag? No.
Yeah.
Blood bag.
Blood bag?
Yeah.
His donor, his blood donor.
His blood donor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he is the guy that's living in this chaotic world. And that's the thing about, chaos is that people are going to gravitate to whoever has the answers. And so he's just thinks that Immortan Joe is like a god.
Right.
And like, remember, he like even gets all excited when he's like, "Oh, he looked at me. He looked at me."
Yeah. And he's willing to sacrifice himself for the cause.
And he solely believes in everything that guy is saying.
Yeah.
And two times, I think it was three, can't remember, but two times I remember he wants to kill himself.
Yeah.
Because he sprays with get that spray in his mouth.
Yeah.
And the one time was to get the rig, and then he actually is in Joe's car.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe, gives him that like, "Oh, I will carry you into Valhalla. I will take you."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And he's gonna kill himself again. He's gonna do what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Never he fails,
mm-hmm.
right? Because he's, for his own glory, for his own benefit, he's trying to sacrifice himself, which is not a sacrifice, right?
Right.
But it's not until the end when all of a sudden he's with the girls. He gets to know the girls. He gets to know who they are. And then he doesn't just see them as, property of Joe, that they're people.
Mm-hmm.
He sacrifices himself so that they can get away. So he's not sacrificing for the sake of his own glory.
Mm-hmm.
He's sacrificing for the sake of others.
For others, yeah.
And it works.
He sees their humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which was really cool because they really say that throughout the whole, or show that in the movie, is that when they first see him, he's all makeup and
mm-hmm.
white. And throughout the course of the film, that slowly goes away.
Right.
And you get to see more human who he is in the movie. And so, that just, goes back to Christ's sacrifice that, I think there are a lot of martyrs and not martyrs, but people that will sacrifice for the sake of their glory.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus did it for the sake of ours, so that we can be, have glory with God, so that we can be, someday be with God in our glorified bodies, how we're supposed to be. But yeah.
Cool.
It's time for the trivia battle that I don't think either one of us think we're going to win.
No. I am not confident at all.
I am confident maybe I can answer one question.
I just figured this thing is just going to be in my possession again.
Probably.
Okay, I got 9 questions. They're all kind of whatever. There's one real hard one in there that you guys probably won't get. So
Fantastic.
Who's going first?
I will choose to go first today because I don't think it will matter.
Not gonna matter.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. First question. What does Max eat in the opening scene?
Oh,
Sweet.
come on.
A lizard.
I'd be more specific.
2-headed lizard.
Okay. I'll take it.
Spotted gecko.
It definitely was a gecko. Okay. You said gecko.
Wait, was
So
it two-headed?
Yes.
It was
a
two-headed.
two-headed.
I didn't notice it had 2
Yeah,
heads.
he eats a 2-headed gecko.
Oh,
All right.
that's because I got the.
But a gecko is a lizard, man.
Yeah, but a gecko's more specific.
Oh my gosh.
And it was spotted. Okay. Next question.
The library all over.
What is Max's blood type?
He is a universal donor.
Which is?
I don't know. I just remember that was being tattooed on his back.
I'll.
No, I know it. Come on. You were
Okay,
going to give me lizard and you're like, "Oh,
What
universal
is-
donor."
Go for the steal.
A positive.
Go
O
for the-
negative.
It's O negative.
Oh, is that?
negative.
I just guessed.
It was okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a half point right there.
Was the O negative tattooed on his
Yes,
back?
it is.
Yeah.
tattooed
See,
on
I
his
should have
back.
paused the movie.
But I mean, everyone knows that O negative is universal.
I don't.
So
I'm not hip
probably
to.
should.
I'm not hip to blood types.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
Dude, we are moments away from a Mad Max world. Let's be real. You probably should
Yeah,
know
we are.
bloodline. Blood. Like
Blood
if you
types?
ever need it, like
I
give me
never-
that O negative. Just helpful things to know.
It would be helpful
just
if
think it-
everyone had their blood type tattooed on their back.
It would be. It would be.
I just think it's weird that why do people have different blood
It
types?
is weird, huh?
Like why can't they just have the same kind of blood?
It's weird.
Bizarre. All right.
Next question. What do the war boys yell as they sacrifice themselves after spraying themselves with chrome?
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I can hear it. I know the scene. I can picture the scene. I don't remember word for word.
It's 2 words. You want to go try to steal it?
You can steal it.
It's 2 words? I have no idea.
Yamakuzi.
Fast drying. I don't know. It's paint. I don't know.
They yell, "Witness me."
Oh wow.
And all the other characters like, "We witness you."
Really?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
It
You're
It
right.
happens a couple times.
He did
in the
when
movie.
he saw his friend die. He said that,
Yeah.
and he was happy for him. Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
All right. None of you guys got that one.
No.
Okay. Here's a fun one.
I might just win this thing with the 1.5 all the way through.
Probably.
All right. How many skulls are on the front of the war rig?
Oh man.
Your question.
Oh, is it my question?
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of them on there, but in my head it's like there's only like 3. Like there's 3. There's like 3 main ones, and then there's like a boat row of
I'm talking just the front.
just the front 3.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Steal.
Do you actually know?
I know I was gonna guess 3, but I'm now gonna guess
Oh.
5.
That is incorrect.
There's probably like 12 of them. Like you'd have to pause the movie and
I
count
thought
them.
it was curious because I noticed when I
Yeah.
first noticed it, I was like, "Are there 3? How many are on there?" It's 4. There's 4 of them.
That's 4. I was gonna guess 3.
There's
yeah.
3 in the
Ah.
middle, and then there's like one little side one, which
Yeah.
like bugged me. It was like
Because I can picture the 3 in the
yeah, I
middle.
have the 3 in the middle. There's
one-
3.
There's a 4th one in the corner that I'm like, why is that there?
It's
Huh.
for fun.
All right.
Okay. Next question.
It's your question, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What secret weapon does Furiosa successfully hide from Max inside the truck?
Oh, it was the dagger with the bone.
Yes,
The
it was
shifter.
the stick shift
Stick
dagger.
shifter.
Oh,
Dagger.
yeah. See, I would have known that one. I
Gets-
would have known that one. But, oh, well. All right.
Okay,
That's that them's
Next.
breaks.
this is the hardest question.
Yeah.
Is what is the kill switch sequence used to start the truck?
All right.
And this is just what
I
she
actually
says.
know this one.
I know this one.
You do?
Yeah. Let me see if I get it
Oh,
right.
Man.
It's 1, 1, 2, 1, red, black, go.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
that's good. Yeah.
I've often thought of just putting something like that in my car.
That would be so cool.
You just a line of switches. You just know
Yeah.
you know the code, and you're good to go. No key.
Yep.
No key.
Oh wow! I didn't think you guys were gonna get that one.
Yeah.
No, I would have got
That was
yeah,
that was
that's
the
a good
only one that I thought that could be a trivia.
Yeah.
Is what's the sequence of the?
But see, the weird thing is that you said it correctly. I think if he asked me, I would have said it was 1, 2, 1, red, black, go.
Well, it's weird the way she says it's 1, 1, 2, 1. It's like, why don't you just say?
Because it's 3 things. It's 1, 1, 2, 1.
Oh,
So I don't know if that's what she meant.
why did she say 1?
I don't
it doesn't
know.
make sense. Why don't you just say 1, 1, 2,
Maybe it's
1?
up, down. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it's just,
Because if it's just plain numbers, it's 1, 1, 2, 1,
Yeah.
red, black, go. It's just like 1, 1, 2.
yeah.
Sounds more code-like, I guess.
Next question. Where does Furiosa get her face paint after entering the canyon?
Oh,
You know this one.
yeah.
She got it from the engine.
That is incorrect.
No, it was like the ceiling. It was something from the ceiling.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
It was from the bearing on the steering wheels.
Bearing
That
on
is
the
correct.
Steering
okay.
wheel.
She gets it from the grease off of the steering column.
Okay.
She paints her face.
But now that I know that, I'm trying to think what part of the, like just under the steering wheel,
It was
right?
just underneath.
Under
the
the
steering
Yeah,
steering wheel.
yeah. All greased up.
Oh, wow, you're catching up. We're currently 2.5 to
Oh, that's
2.
right.
Next question.
2.5 to 2?
Yeah.
Me?
You're up by a half point.
I'm gonna move this over a
Oh,
little
man,
bit.
this is closer and better than I thought.
Moving
it
it
would be.
over. So this should go to the middle when we
Come
do
on.
this.
Well, but I mean, it's mostly you right now.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is also a very easy question. When
It's
the war
yours,
rig
too.
gets
Oh.
stuck in the mud, they use a winch to pull it out, but the cable doesn't reach. What is used to fit the cable around the tree?
Oh man, that's when I was getting nachos.
I know.
I don't know.
I know.
Oh,
I
shit.
just figured it was gonna be like a long sequence event where they're just gonna drag it out, and so I
Nope.
don't know what.
Ready? Can I steal it?
Okay, go for the steal.
It was Nux or Max's, the chain that Nux had to Max.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a length of chain.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is the final question.
Man. All right.
What are the names of the 2 lumps on Nux's shoulder?
Oh, I thought that was funny.
I did think that was funny too.
I have no
And I
idea.
told
though.
myself I was going to write that down. I have a guess. It's your question.
Oh, is it my
No, it's my
question?
question.
It is
It's
your
your question.
Billy and Jimmy?
That is incorrect.
Something that rhymes like that, though.
Skippy and Timmy. I don't know.
Oh, come on, you guys.
I have no idea.
It was
is
something
close.
that
That's wrong.
rhymed, like
Yes, I it's,
Bobby and Nobby?
The names are the same despite 1 letter difference.
Yeah. Scotty and Jobby?
I'll just tell you.
Jimmy and Timmy.
Larry and Barry.
Larry and Barry.
Oh,
Yeah, my
Larry.
mates, Larry and Barry.
Larry and Barry. Wow. Wait, so who won?
All right, Michael won by a full point.
Ah. Well, that's okay. I wasn't expecting to win this one. So.
Yeah.
You could have had it if you didn't go get nachos.
See?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you pause.
Yep.
Let that be a lesson to you. All right. Well, What's your ranking? What's your final thoughts and ranking on Mad Max Fury Road?
I think it's a movie you got to see once. No, it was a lot of fun. I think visually it's fun. I think I see it more as a fantasy movie. I really don't see it like a full-on, post-apocalyptic movie because it was so over-the-top stylized where stuff didn't really make sense. But at the same time, it was fun.
Yeah.
So my ranking is it's pretty low. It's a 6.2.
Okay.
The
6 is like, the 6 range is like enjoyable.
Right. Yeah.
So when you say fantasy movie, you're saying like there's just no way the apocalypse would be like this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it wouldn't be like that. It was
okay.
It was like so stylized and everything that no.
Right. I don't know if that's what they were going for, like a realistic apocalyptic.
And that's what I mean. I don't think that's what they were going for. I think it was just like a super cool, fun, that genre of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I loved it. It's not too often that I go see a movie and I instantly want to go back and watch it. And this was one of them. The first time I saw it. And we do these podcasts, we pick these movies, and a lot of these movies we have seen over and over and over. And so when I sit down to watch these movies, like I'm sitting there with a notepad, I'm like trying to pick up things. And this movie, when I put it, I got lost back into the movie as if I was in the theater again. And so that's why I wasn't very confident in the trivia. That I was just really, I forgot that I need to be taking notes, and I just watched the movie. So for me, it's an 8.4. Probably an 8.3 for the lack of Mad Max car. But yeah, I loved it. I think it's a movie you got to see more than once. But all right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us and talking about Mad Max. Let us know what you think about the film. Let us know what your favorite Mad Max movie is, and also let us know if you're going to go see Mad Max Furiosa. Comes out. I'm going to go see it. Might do a out of the theater reaction. I don't know. Video.
Cool. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Thanks again, and please like, subscribe, and all right, see you in the next one.